Yo guys, what's up? And welcome to my 6th episode of my Fortnite Noob to Pro series. In this episode, I would like to show you guys how to perfect your landing. It really helps to land faster than your opponents and, just get that little edge early game. There's people with hundreds of wins that don't really know how to do their landing very well. And especially in duos and squads, you hear the phrase like, how did he get down so fast? Or how is he dead already? How does he have a weapon already? So let's get into this and explain you guys how to improve your landing. Alright, let's play a game and go over a few important things you can already think about before the game even starts. So before you even land. Like, where do you want to go? Do you want to go somewhere crowded? Do you want to get a lot of kills? Do you want to go somewhere safe and farm up first? And then we'll go into like how to actually land super fast and be, faster than the rest. So the game really does start in the waiting lobby. So right here, you can already see the map. You can already see where the bus is going, and you can already decide where you want to go. So the most crowded spot is usually Tilted Towers. Then we have the zones in the middle, like Pleasant, Retail, Dusty, Salty. Maybe Shifty, Fatal, and Paradise even. And then the zones on the edges of the map are the least crowded. But it does depend on the bus, because we have so-called hot zones. And a hot zone is basically just a spot near the beginning of the bus. So the bus starts here, and now Snobby would be a hot spot. Pleasant would be a hot spot. Pleasant will be a lot more crowded now than, for example, Lonely Lodge, Paradise, and Retail. Probably. But if the bus actually goes the other way around, so from east to west instead of from west to east, Lonely Lodge, Retail, and Paradise would actually be more crowded than Pleasant. So it depends on the bus which spot is the most crowded. But these are things you can all think about before the game actually even starts. Alright, so now that we know where we can go, let's go over when to jump out of the bus. The battle bus is faster than like how fast you can fly or glide. But because the glider automatically opens at like a certain distance from the ground, you do want to use that time to actually glide to the place you want to go. So let's say we want to go Salty, which is like in the bus is flying like right over Salty. You want to jump like 1.5 squares away here somewhere. Because what happens if you go all the way to Salty with the bus and you jump like, let's say right now, and you go all the way down. Sure, the battle bus is fast and you cover this distance very fast, but the glider will open and you're going to lose a lot of time for no reason, and you'll be floating above Salty for no reason like this. So you do not want to go too late, but also you don't want to jump too early. So let's say we're going to Salty again, the bus is flying over Salty, and we jump right now. And we just fly down. You see the bus is a lot faster than we are. So if we jumped here somewhere, we would have actually glided our way perfectly down to Salty. So what is actually the perfect time to go out of the bus? Well, it comes down to two factors. The first one is the distance and the angle you have to travel when you jump out to the destination. And the second one is the height of the destination where you want to arrive. Alright, so let's start off with the height. What do I mean with height? Well, first of all, your glider automatically opens at like a certain distance from the ground, right? So if you're flying over an object, for example, a mountain, a house, or a tree or something, your glider will open like earlier than when you actually fly over the water or something, or the ground, or whatever. So let's say I want to go to Paradise right now, and I jump. And I go down to this mountain here. My glider will actually open a certain distance above this mountain. And I will be floating a long time. I will just... you see this guy with this red skin and this other guy? They're all lower than I am. It's because I opened my glider above this mountain automatically. But instead, if I went down, like for example here, or even in the water, or down here on the road, I would have opened my glider a lot later and I would have been lower. So you want to take into account like where you open your glider. Alright, so let's try this again in Paradise Palms and try to have a very quick landing. But this time, instead of going over one of the mountains, we will actually let our glider automatically deploy over the water. So it's a low area and our glider will deploy a lot later, as you can see. And now I'm a lot lower than all the other guys here. See, these guys are just floating around for no reason. And I can just pick up my shotgun or whatever. So when you want to jump out of the bus, comes down to the height. So you want to generally avoid tall buildings and let your glider open like over the lowest point possible, which is the ground or the water or whatever. And it comes down to the distance where you have to travel. So let me just give you guys a few examples of when you can actually jump out of the bus. Starting with this one. Alright, so let's cover a few places and when to jump. Starting off with retail here. You kind of want to jump like as soon as that arrow starts and just move your way to retail there. A second example, I'll show you when to go to salty. And as you can see, that arrow and that line of the arrow is smaller here, which means you have to jump later. Now, why is that? Well, retail is a lot lower than salty. Retail is surrounded by mountains, so you actually have to glide a lot more than in salty. Which means you actually have to jump later for salty. Now, if you, for example, look at Polar Peak is really high, so you can jump super late and just glide a little bit and you're instantly on Polar Peak. So if you go, for example, very far away to Pleasant, let's say, you can actually use all this distance and jump around, you know, around there where the arrow shows, beginning of the arrow. You don't want to jump too early and float too much, but also you don't want to jump too late and lose a lot of time. If you look at Tilted, for example, you can see two arrows. The green one is when you actually want to jump and actually just fly your way to Tilted. And you do not want to wait in a bus too long and use that red line, because you're just going to waste too much time. So if you look at Shifty, for example, this is when to go to Shifty. And let me just give you a few more examples in a different map. Alright, so a new map. Let's start off with Shifty. Like, Shifty is right under like where the bus is going, so you want to jump about a square and a half, maybe 2 squares before Shifty, which will look kind of like this. Now let's go over to Salty. You want to jump around there, I guess. For Fatal Fields, you have to jump quite early because you will be gliding quite a lot. Same with Retail. You want to jump like just before it hits like completely horizontal. And then if you want to go like really far, for example Junk Junction, you want to wait for the bus to get a little bit closer and not just instantly jump, because you have to glide a long way. So this would be about the perfect time to jump for Junk Junction. Alright, so now that we know all of this, let's just practice. So Retail, right? We have to jump about now. So we can glide, we want to glide to about here, because it's quite low, and then we can go all the way to like here. So you want to go down here, open your glider automatically, and I will just try to perfectly land on that blacktops. So as you can see, this guy is a lot higher than me, this guy is a lot higher than me, and I'm the lowest. So if I go in here, I pick up my tactical, I can kill anyone now. Alright, so let's go to Tilted this time. You want to jump around here. And this time you want to aim for the water, because the water is very low. And you will deploy your glider a lot later. And be lower than people that deploy their glider when they're above a tree or something. So now I can perfectly go to this Trump Tower here. And again, as you can see, a lot of people are a lot higher than me. Alright, let's land a bit further away and go to Fatal this time. You want to jump around here and just glide all the way to Fatal. And then deploy your glider, probably kind of like here. So you don't want to go like too low, otherwise your glider will deploy too early. But also, you don't want to go higher than like this. If you go horizontal like this, you will lose a lot of speed. So you kind of want to go like this. Alright, last tip, guys. Let's say you want to go Pleasant with this bus. And you want to instantly jump. and you want to jump like right next to this mountain, always look at your minimap at the right top of the screen. To, you know, just accurately know where you're going. So if I look at my minimap, I have to go a bit more to the left here to be next to the mountain, and there we go. It's perfect. Because if you look at your game only, it's not as accurate as if you look on your minimap. So now you know all the pro tips. See? I am faster, dude. You see? Told you I'm faster. Alright, that's it for this video on how to get a perfect landing, guys. And now just practice. Like everything else, just practice. Try to be the first to land somewhere. Try to discover like new spots, like when to reach the ground, when to glide, etc. And, you know, just try to be the first and have this little edge on your opponents. So if you guys have any questions, ask them down in the comment section. And like always, like that video. If you have any questions, you can also check me out on my Twitch. And you guys know you should check me out on my Twitch anyway. So thanks for watching and see you guys next time. Woo, goodbye.